fifth generation or 5G technology. A high-speed network is expected to bring disruption in wireless services that rely on ultra-low latency communications for access to multimedia and data to serve cross-industry applications. Besides, handset makers are set to bring offerings starting early next year.
Speed to market is probably the biggest trend that we see. Every country that is at the lead of 5G and the companies that are driving the solutions, whether it be infrastructure or the handset devices that will enter the market first or the carriers, they all see the benefits in getting to 5G soon. Once you get to 5G, you've actually enabled a platform, an environment for many other goods and services to be developed that aren't even imagined today.
Qualcomm Technologies is driving many essential inventions across all aspects of the 5G design, from the air interface to the service layer.
We are working to ensure that the 5G technologies can be deployed in the most cost-effective manner, and it kind of brings about the latest and the best kind of capability from the point of view of service delivery. So rest assured, we will have the best of the chips and we will ensure the efficient delivery of services. So as long as the network is ready, the equipment and the chip and the handsets is never going to be a bottleneck.
In India, there is so much of buzz around 5G. Industry players are doing their best to welcome this new era of transformation. Technology introduction will change the Indian landscape with newer services that include IoT, virtual reality, and other sensor-based real-time services for business applications.
India itself is a great growth story. Now, if you look at in the context of 5G, it's actually an evolution and not so much a revolution.
I think we in the IoT world are very excited about 5G. 5G as a technology is sort of, very well positioned to help sort of foster the growth of IoT even more. 5G brings in the kind of data speeds that will, enable critical applications. 5G brings in the kind of latency that will bring to life a true connected car proposition. For example, we can have ubiquitous IoT networks.
Started with the automotive sector, which is not only maintain and track a car, it's much more hotspot, Wi-Fi in a car, entertainment in a car, emergency calls which are coming up in the future, and this is the reason why I believe we need 5G is the streaming services, real-time mapping and streaming for radio, for whatever you want to get. It's the same as in the industrial automation. You can see it more and more. Everybody's talking about Industry 4.0, how to implement it and how to manage real-time. So I believe these elements are the core elements which are coming as soon as possible, plus the broadband for the consumer market, crystal clear.
Operators like us, we've set up our networks now, so they're automatically getting to becoming 5G ready. So with massive MIMO, virtualization and a bunch of other technology innovations, 4.5 to 4.8G kind of networks are being put in place.
Vodafone Idea is one of the largest telco, not only in India but globally, which has really made a significant, so we are at the cutting edge, at the leading edge of cloud deployments in India and all over the world. Let us take the case of transmission. So if it comes to hyperscale optics or if it comes to programmable IP, we are taking the lead in that area also. So there are large aspects of 5G technologies which make huge sense, and those technologies we are already taking in as part of 4G and deploying them in quite a significant and a serious manner across radio, transmission and core. And we see a lot of benefits of these technologies and we are embracing them quite successfully at this point in time.
India is a huge country, especially in the rural areas, and if you want to offer 5G enterprise services based on 5G, you need really coverage countrywide. I believe this really have to plan. This is one of the core elements, and the cost of the devices. I believe it's not working today because there are no cheap 5G elements in the market on the device side.
Europe and Americas and the Western world are talking about connected cars and connected vehicles and IoT of things. That is one use case those people are thinking about, right? Now, so other use cases that people are thinking about is augmented reality and virtual reality. But if you come to use cases which really start making sense for a country like India, those would be cases which enable large number of enterprises, large number of industries to maintain their supply chain, to maintain their industrial production, to maintain their assembly line of production in a very seamless manner. So wireless technologies which serve industries and work on the industry processing line and make it efficient. Technology which work on the agricultural value chain, from the production to the cold storage to the logistics to the market, and which works on the entire trading community, production of the goods and then retailing of the goods and then consumption of the goods. So technology which works on these chains and make them completely man-free, automated, which creates network slices on demand in an agile manner and which brings intelligence and efficiency, are the kind of technologies which will take India and Indian economy to the next level.
As per the national telecom policy, 5G will need $100 billion of investment, right? So it's a huge amount of money. So it is important that the cost of deployment is reduced, right? So we have to ensure that the operators have enough margin, right, to invest in equipment and networks, because 5G has to be extended to the rural areas, not only in the urban areas. So today, if you see, the industry already has made around 3 to 3.5 lakh crores of investment, right, in spectrum. And spectrum is a major component of investment because of the total 10 lakh crores of investment which the industry has made cumulatively over the years. Spectrum is around 40%. So therefore, what we have to do is that you have to make the 5G spectrum price realistic, right? Currently, it is extremely high, what TRAI has recommended, and it has to be brought down at least 6 to 7 times.
We need to make sure the applications which will support and which will exploit 5G, the ecosystem around them is built out. So for retail users, we need the device ecosystem to build up. For that, we need to get the chipsets get ready, and then chipsets needs to be adopted by the device manufacturers. Then we need the customers to get those devices and reach to some threshold penetration before it becomes economic viable proposition, because telecom is a ubiquitous coverage game, and if you want to do that, you need some decent level of device penetration to sink in before those investments start making sense.
The government has done a fantastic job. They've now got a national digital communications policy in place that addresses at least the concerns that the industry has, in terms of saying we need to look at rationalizing the taxes and levies, so there is more investable surplus being created in the industry. They're talking about right of way to be made available, because spectrum is now plenty available on the access side, but the backhaul, which requires either fiber or E and V band microwave high capacity backhaul, needs to be put in place, and that is being addressed in the NDCP. 5G can be a game changer for India as a whole to becoming a $10 trillion economy, and therefore you do not look at telecom spectrum auction as the only way to make money. And so some of these things happening in the next 12 to 18 months time then helps us to prepare for the true opportunity that 5G actually represents for our country. Collaboration is the key. Academia, industry, which includes not just the telcos, but the network players, the devices players, and also the verticals. Imagine if you're talking about robotic surgery as an opportunity for India as a whole, where you don't have to have medical tourism people coming into India as much as people sitting here, performing operations outside, or handling networks of very complex nature in other countries because the skills are available in India. Now, all of that requires enterprise level and industry vertical level collaboration.
We should not get carried away by a success definition that somebody has created for some other market. For us, the success definition is 1 billion users, their productivity, and how can we bring technology to them, and how can we take them to the next level. And that is the G that we care for.